Alrighty folks, let's go ahead and diagnose what's going on with your Rheem Tankless water heater. In my case, maybe your case as well, a couple different things that are going on with it. Number one, filter is severely clogged. I am on well water. This can happen in the city as well, but a lot of mineral deposits happen on my washing machine actually. So I'm pretty sure this is what is transpiring with this here as well. I do need to do a full flush on this unit, but I'm trying to do a quick fix so I can get in the shower, at least right now. But what started is, this will give you a little backstory to help you, so just stay with me here. So first thing that started happening was when I turn on the hot water, it would engage, but the pressure wasn't there. It just wasn't running through the system. So this is hot water. Let's go ahead and now go over to cold water. And as you can see, the pressure really increases. So I first noticed it when I was filling up the bathtub. I was like, why is my bathtub taking so long to fill with water now? So that was the very original kind of start to it, right? And then what started happening was, like the sink over here, I would turn the hot water on and it wouldn't even engage unless I then turned on that hot water, and then it would kick on. And then I would turn that off and it would stay on. And then that water would get hot. And I was like, cool, okay, I can wash my face now. Same thing started happening for the other shower. I would have to turn on the sink in the other portion of the house for it to engage with the shower over there. Now, nothing is working. And if it does work, it's very sporadic. So it's not even engaging. So I think the filter is so clogged. Not to mention, again, we will be doing a full vinegar flush, which it's been way too long and I need to do that as well. That's why I know kind of the reason why. So there's probably a lot of minerals inside the coils, but for a quick fix, I'm gonna see if it's just the filter and how much mineral deposit we have in the filter, because again, I am on well water. You should have saw the washing machine after only like 2 years. Anyway, so first thing we're gonna do is, my control unit is right over here. Let's go ahead and turn off the machine. We're just gonna push that once until it goes off. You're gonna hear the machine maybe engage a little bit. We're gonna come down here, we're gonna unplug it as well. And then what we're gonna do here is, I am on propane. If you have natural gas or propane, doesn't matter. We're gonna go ahead and turn the knob. So we're gonna go ahead and cut off the gas. So now there's no gas going to the unit. And now here are your clean valves right here. We don't need to mess with those, but we are going to be turning off our water, our cold water. So let's go ahead and do that now. These are just quarter turns. Yours might look similar, might look a little bit different. And we're also going to turn off the hot water as well, quarter turn. Okay, now that that water is off, now that the gas is off, the unit's off as well as it's unplugged. This is off, cold water and hot water are off. This is your water filter right here. So it's just this little black knob right here. And if it is stuck, we might have to grab a pair of pliers and be very gentle on it because it is plastic. So let's go ahead and grab something, because that's pretty tight on there. So let's grab something and we'll go ahead and loosen that up a little bit. All right, I just used some channel locks, and again, very light pressure. It was able to move it, what I couldn't do with my hand. So obviously now we have movement here. There will be water coming out of that. Have your bucket ready. I'm gonna go ahead and move this fan out of the way, as well as those filters. They're wrapped up, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a little bit of water squirt. So I'm gonna go ahead and put down the camera. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up like this, or maybe put the camera on a tripod, because you're gonna get a little squirting coming out of there. All right, I'm gonna try not to block your shot, but I'm gonna go ahead and have this ready right here. Okay. Doing it slowly. That's not bad. Not too bad. As in, the water's not too bad. Dripping a little bit. Actually, I don't even know if I got a little bit in the bucket. Mostly came off of the few little drops down there. Not bad at all. But I'd still grab some napkins or a bucket. I'm gonna go ahead and set the bucket right down there. And there's our filter right there. Doesn't have as much sediment as I thought it was gonna have in there. Let's take a closer look. And then just remove the whole thing from the little holder, and the whole thing comes out like this here. Alrighty, there's definitely some sediment in there for sure. I've already cleaned it just a little bit. I am going to be careful with that screen right there, but that's probably causing some backing up issues or flow issues, and hopefully that will get me up and running for at least a shower this evening so I don't have to do a full flush. I will do a full flush next week, but let's go ahead and clean this out. Be careful cleaning this out as well. I'm going to use like just a little brush or something like that. And that, again, that black stuff is just sediment from well water. My washing machine was having the same issue. Just need to clean it more frequently. Alrighty, we're looking a lot better than it was before just a little while ago. And so a little hack for you here, if you can't really get in there too well, you can try a couple different things like a little wire brush, but do be careful. Make sure you're not poking too far into it. I have a couple different sizes here, as you can see right here. And then I tried a paintbrush as well. But the best thing was just very lightly going on the outside of it, and the wire brushes were able to get into the little stainless steel area from the outside in, being able to clean that. Obviously there is a little bit, almost looks like rust or mineral buildup or whatever that looks like right there on the inside of it. Doesn't really look like that on the outside. It might just be the camera lighting, but I don't know, maybe. Anywho, a lot better than what it was. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back now and show you how to turn everything back on. All right, now we slipped it back in our little holder, and we're gonna go ahead and tighten it up, and we're just gonna go ahead and hand tighten it. We're not gonna use any overpowering. We're just gonna tighten it hand tight because there is the O-ring in there once again. Okay, now that that is tightened, we're gonna go ahead and turn on our hot water. So let's go ahead and turn that down, and we're gonna go ahead and go slowly with both the hot and the cold. We don't want to hit the system too fast. Always do this when you're turning on the water to your house as well. You don't want that pressure just going boom right into your system. So hot water might not really be necessary, but I'm still doing it. Cold water definitely, because the cold water, obviously, I heard a little bit more of a squirt upwards to that. Also, we're going to be checking for leaks, but we want to make sure that if there's any water that dripped out of there onto here and is dripping down, we're going to go ahead and get some napkins, because what we don't want to think is, do we have a water leak and it's just water that's already dripped from there down to here and then on. So again, I'm just going to turn this a little bit slowly. I think the initial shock has already happened to the system, and we'll go ahead and turn that back on there. All right. Hot water and cold water are turned on. Alrighty, after looking at it, we have no leaks at all from screwing that back in because, again, our water is on. All right, before we do turn on the gas or before we do plug back in the machine, let's go ahead and purge all the air out of every faucet here. So we're going to go ahead and crank this on hot water, and we want to go ahead, if there is any issues with the hot water, doesn't seem like there was any air trapped in that one. Let's go ahead and double check. Cold, hot. All right, that one looks good. Coming over here to the sink, and obviously it's not going to be engaging because it's not on, it's just flowing through. Okay, we got a little bit of air coming out of this one here. So we'll go ahead and just let all that air come through here, and I'll check the bathtub in just a second here once again. This one took a little bit of time for that air to come through. Still coming through a little bit. And you're going to do that to all your faucets, your showers, sinks, etc. Just in making sure that no air is trapped in the line. All right, we look good. Now we're going to go ahead and turn the gas back on. In my case, propane. Your case, natural gas or propane. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and plug back in our unit right here. And you might need to turn back on the power button, which I will right now. And I actually had to hit that twice. So now it is on right there. I heard it engage up above when I did turn it on. All right, so let's go ahead and check our work. Again, no leaks coming from up here. Gas is on, cold water is on, hot water is on. It's plugged in. All our air is purged. Now let's go ahead and test it to see if our machine kicks on for the quick fix in my case, or just cleaning the filter maintenance for you. And success. Very awesome. Machine is now on. I can hear it. That was not happening before I did this. Also, on a side note, because the filter was clogged, my pressure has now restored as well. I still again need to do the vinegar flush, but cleaning the filter has restored my hot water pressure. So this is a win-win. Very simple fix. So good. So for a quick fix to get back up and running, or just to clean your filter, this is working. Thank you, Lord Jesus. because I just cut my hair and my neck is feeling very prickly and I need to take a shower. Next up, make sure you're subscribed because I will be doing a full vinegar flush. It's been way too long. It's overdue. It needs to get done. And even if you do the full vinegar flush, you need to clean your filter as well. So thumbs that video up, guys, if it has helped you get back up and running for a quick shower. The whole process shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes if you know what you're doing. Full vinegar flush will be a little bit longer than that, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. My name's Chris. I'll see you on the next video.